back to the Insurance Guru. My name is Ayanda Malele and thank you so much for coming back. So today's video, I'm excited because it's for the insurance professional, it's for the person working in insurance, a person considering working in insurance and thinking what are the different jobs that exist there and what can I possibly do. And listen, I will tell you, from working for different insurance companies, knowing a lot of people in the industry, the world is literally your oyster. You can be anything you want, but first we'll start with how you get in. So my next guest is somebody that we have had on the show. She's amazing, she's wonderful, she knows a lot about insurance. Her name is Masechaba, coming from Sedgwick, and she specializes in business interruption and loss adjusting. What on earth? So today I've got her on the show. Welcome back, Masechaba.
Thank you for having me again.
Thank you for being willing to chat to us again about this wonderful topic.
Always.
Yes, so as I was telling the people that, insurance is like a lot of different careers you can choose. Firstly, I just want to ask the one old age question. How did you get into insurance? Did you wake up one day as a 15-year-old with your friends and say, I want to be a loss adjuster? Or how did it all happen?
No. That was not it.
Okay.
I think like everyone else, postgraduates, sitting there looking for your first job straight out of varsity, and obviously graduate programs are galore, and I ended up getting called for an interview for a graduate program at Sasria.
Okay.
Sasria is the special risks insurer in South Africa. It's a state-owned enterprise, and as you can remember from looting last year, Sasria became the most famous insurer.
Yes.
So there I go to Sasria, and I started at Sasria and they seconded me to Crawford and Company, which is a loss adjusting firm. And that's where I met the loss adjuster for the first time.
So when you were at Sasria, were you doing what you were doing with your graduate, your degree, or did you just go straight out into working with claims, or did you start working in finance maybe?
So I actually did not spend any time at Sasria. The main goal of that graduate program was to grow special skills in the Black community.
Oh, okay.
So they had a multitude of different graduates, from legal to accounting to actuaries, and they actually set them up as different places within the industry. And that's how I ended up then at Crawford as an accounting graduate with the intention of being a business interruption loss adjuster.
Oh, okay. So then you move to the next corporation and you start working there, and then you get into loss adjusting. What is loss adjusting? Are we just adjusting losses? How do you adjust? What are you doing with yourself during the day?
So this is what we do, and we come into the process at claim stage. A claim happens, and an insurer will appoint us to assist with calculating, quantifying, verifying the claim. So we basically verify that it's a real claim. Is something that's covered in terms of the policy in issue, and then how much is due to the person. So that's loss adjusting in a nutshell.
And technically, actually, then your accounting degree does play into this space a lot.
Absolutely.
So I can't just wake up thinking, I can do it tomorrow.
No, but you can almost wake up and think, I want to start as a property loss adjuster.
Okay.
Because in that space, it's a general loss adjusting function, and all you need to understand is your basic insurance cover and what the policy covers. And then from there, I think then you go into things like, how does the building look? So that is the class of insurance where we all started. Even I started with adjusting basic property claims. Then we have the more specialized fields like business interruption, engineering, liability, your forensic for fire and environmental, and that's where what you studied comes into play.
So I think from what you're telling me is potentially, not even potentially, every insurance company has loss adjusters. That's what you're telling me.
Not necessarily. So some insurance companies have made the choice to have internal loss adjusters. So they have the guys within their organization who fulfill this function. But in most cases, loss adjusting firms are independent of insurance companies. And we're kind of the guy in the middle who is going to give the insurer the final product, but we're also going to the person who has suffered the damage, and we're going to get everything we need from them and assist them in getting a figure for what was lost.
All right, so in putting it in simple terms, in 2010, I had a major accident, and I had a loss adjuster, big guy coming there, checking the car, seeing exactly the scratch and stuff. Is that basically what, in in trying to maybe just minimize it and make it as simple as possible. That's the guy that came and said, we're going to look at your car, we're going to see what's happened there, that's pre-existing damage over there, no, okay, fine, blah, blah, blah. They submit the whole thing to my insurance company, and my insurance company he says, our loss adjuster came back with this, and this is how much you're paying out. Is that the role?
Absolutely. So the guy who comes to see your car is called an assessor. They're in the personal space. So your house, your personal belongings, that's the guy who comes in to see that.
Oh.
The loss adjuster is a commercial function. Your business is what we're looking at.
Learn something interesting. I hear loss adjuster, I hear assessor. Never understood. Now I know. So I'm not such a guru after all. But I'm learning this with you as well. So it's amazing to just see that, okay, fine, this career can span from personal lines, from just direct things that you own as a human, to business things, to intricate things, to agricultural claims where somebody's whole field got plowed and blah, blah, blah. And then we always need this person that like comes to adjust a loss. So my other question that I have is, so it would mean that if I want to be a loss adjuster in something like marine, ships and things, I need to know a little thing or two about ships, right?
Absolutely. I would suggest you do at least a couple of short courses in marine surveying.
Okay.
And that, combined with your insurance knowledge, will then allow you to be a marine loss adjuster.
Okay. So now we've also spoken about different courses. So I'm Ayanda, brand new in the market. I actually don't have a degree. I just have a matric at the moment and want to get in the space. What do I do first?
First things first, get your basic insurance knowledge. So your NQF4 in insurance or NQF5 insurance. You need to get some type of certification that's going to help you with the basic knowledge so that when you see a policy, you can read it. Because it's no use coming in and going on site when you don't even know what's covered by the policy.
All right, so that's the first part of it.
The first part of it would be that.
So if I want to then start specializing and if I want to go into, as we said, agricultural claims and so forth, then I would need to study a little bit about agri to understand what the whole lay of the landscape is there.
Absolutely. Although there are experts that you can pull into your claims. So we don't always know everything. Sometimes you need a guy who understands a fire better than you do. You need a guy who can calculate the yield of crop. So we always need someone who's more specialized than us. We're kind of the guy right at the top, and then we need all these other people feeding into us to give us the knowledge that we need to make sure that the claim is calculated correctly.
All right, perfect. So that you have to have technical knowledge. There's a lot of technical knowledge that you have to do in calculating, processing things, etc. So as now we know the skills that you need, but now what are the innate traits that are ideal for somebody wanting to go into being a loss adjuster?
Unfortunately, loss adjusting requires you to be a little bit tough. I mean, here you are the guy that by public perception is going to make sure that the insurer doesn't pay a person's claim. So you're always met with quite a lot of hostility from the beginning of the process. So you have to be a little bit tough, and you have to be able to stand your ground, and you have to deal well with high pressure situations. I mean, we are always dealing with a cat. Someone has lost something, and what you want to do is help them as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a tough job.
It is.
But you look like such a sweetheart. I'd never think she's one of the devils in insurance.
What a wonderful person. Just grossly misunderstood.
She's just doing her job.
Yes.
But I just would have never thought that a person like yourself, how do you survive? Well, I can imagine if you're telling me you're only paying out a certain amount as opposed to what I think in my head, and I'm angry and I'm bigger than you and I can shout at you, how do you handle all of that? Like, where do you gain strength from?
I think the best thing to do in situations like that is always be the calm person. No matter how loud you shout, if I'm not retaliating, you're going to lose your steam. And that's my tactic every time. When a person is angry, I listen. I respond with facts. And I always go back to, this is the cover provided by your policy. And we never deviate. This is the product that you bought, and we're going to make sure that you're paid as per your product.
All right, perfect. And then the other question I have in terms of your job now, your career, the path you've chosen, what is the next step for a loss adjuster?
Loss adjusting is a specialist field. So you kind of remain a loss adjuster for the rest of your life almost. But we have different tiers of loss adjusters just based on the size of a claim. So it's almost like when you start being a loss adjuster, you'd be dealing with claims up to around 300,000 Rand. So less complicated. And as you become more senior, I mean, we have junior loss adjusters, we have senior loss adjusters, we have executive loss adjusters. So you kind of climb the ranks until you get to what we call large and complex losses. These are losses that touch on different parts of the policy. So it's not just one part of the policy that you're concentrating on now. It could be 7 different parts of the policy affected, and you must figure that out. So I think you remain a loss adjuster, you're just obviously dealing with larger and larger and larger losses.
And you said a very interesting concept, which I never, I just learned from you today, that loss adjusters are independent.
Absolutely. So loss adjusters are not employees of the insurer in most cases, except for those few insurers that have your in-house loss adjusters. Our function is to just ensure that the claim is paid out correctly. So I always say that I've done my job if no one is happy. If the insurer is not happy and the insured is not happy, I have literally reached the happy medium where everyone gets what they deserve.
Ah, brilliant. All right, and this is very important for people like me because I like things, guys. I really want nice things in my life. And so if I want to go into loss adjusting, what am I expecting to get? Am I expecting to get good money there, car, the whole shebang, benefits? Is it good money or just depending on experience?
Look, I would say the money is fair, but the money is also directly proportional to how much work you do.
Oh, okay. So
definitely, the more you put in, the more you get out.
And so how many claims do you normally sit with? Like this week, how many claims did you have to look at?
Okay, so it's kind of like Armageddon at the moment because, we are dealing with the tail end of COVID claims. We're still actually in the crux of
the protests last year.
The looting business interruption claims. And then we just had KZN happen. So right now I'm sitting with a very disproportionate number of claims. On a normal basis, I would say I would touch on 5 claims a day. But right now I'm on the phone with 15 different people a day, answering emails on 50 different claims, so my days are a bit hectic at the moment.
All right. But you're enjoying it?
I'm loving it.
Is it?
Never a dull moment, and no 2 claims are the same.
So I'm assuming, as we've just spoken a lot about this role, I just want to get to know that if I'm a very kind-hearted person that wants to think about everybody, wants to make everybody happy, can I go into loss adjusting?
I would say no. Horrible thing to say to anyone, but there is no pleasing everyone. And I think that's something we all have to learn. It is impossible that everyone will be happy with something you do. And if you can maybe instill that in your mind, you can probably, as nice as you are, get the job done.
Okay. No, I think that's the long and short of it. Any other comments you have for us? Any other tidbits, information, or anything?
I think my main thing is I would love to see more women in loss adjusting. So please, girls, do it for the team.
Don't be afraid. She's doing it. She's still a nice lady when you talk to her, but I'm sure in those little meetings that she goes into, she's a bit of a different person, but I guess you have to get the job done.
You absolutely have
to. And to instill fairness and to ensure that everyone is, as you said, made to get what's fairly theirs.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
That's your job. Your job is just to be fair in this whole thing. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Masechaba. Thank you for coming again. If you've enjoyed this installment and you would like to see any other career path choice in terms of the insurance sector, please comment down below. Also like, subscribe, tell your cousins, your friends, and anybody that you think might want to get into something like loss adjusting, a career in insurance, because I think this video has also just touched on the amazing opportunity that one can take in this short-term and insurance space. So I'm really glad that you watched, and as I said, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. But thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
I'm enjoying having you here. I think she's going to be like the insurance guru times 2, because I think we've got a lot to learn from her. And yeah, I think there's just a lot of things we can share together.
Absolutely. No, I love
Thank you.
And thank you guys for watching.
Thank you. Have a good day.